Previously on other people's heartache.
Wait. Can I challenge Dan Smith to a fight real quick? Okay, so I get the honors of being the first to challenge Dan Smith to a fight. Is that what we're saying, right?
We're here once again, the Other People's Podcast. For somehow we made it to a second episode. Totally didn't think that was gonna happen. Yeah, I did. I trust it.
Despite a lot of problems, honestly, we were having a lot of issues setting up. And today, Skye, the lovely Skye, isn't here because they have been stressed out due to the ACT.
They're sick with the illness of the horrible school system.
Yeah, I took the ACT like after a concert. Like I saw Common. I got home at like 1 a.m. 9 the next day. So
that's
so
hellish.
Follow Skye at their Twitter at Towards Despair because they deserve it. I'm May. My Twitter at is Way Beyond Live. Follow me too. Actually, plug me. Follow my sponsors, which is Minecraft.
Minecraft sponsors you.
Minecraft sponsors me.
Oh, that's amazing.
And so I like Bastille, and I'm the Bastille YouTube poop queen.
It's me, Corey. Also sometimes known as Laz because I run a terrible WW Comps parody account that really is just memes nowadays. It used to be a lot cooler. Now we're mostly
it didn't.
Pile. But hey, meme piles are good.
Xochi.
I don't know how to intro myself. I'm Xochi.
Just say you're Xochi.
I'm the biggest blame stan here. I also love Four Walls. If you diss one of them, that includes Daniel from the band Bastille, you will die. And I can't wait to see Blame again.
Oh, by the way, we forgot to say, our super amazing god of audio editing, Ace, is also here with us. But they will be quiet because they're being secretive.
No, Ace is secret, not real. Probably.
A secret boy.
Did you see what I sent into the chat? There was a thing there was a Snapchat ad I got from Virgin Mobile, which was the easiest way to get a $100 gift card without taking your clothes off. And I was like, that was Dan when they told him to make Blame a single despite him not wanting to.
Wish you could delete that now.
I heard recently that there was a thing that happened in the music world.
The Bastille world?
No, actually I'm talking about Drake being born again. Drake was reborn today.
What?
Congratulations.
The rapper?
Drake has a rebirth credit and he got reborn today.
Hey, if you're gonna send that stupid short Drake picture.
Oh my god, I just got it now.
So
we can't auditorily reproduce the short Drake picture. I don't think we can. We can't reproduce Tiny Dan either. But we'll talk about Tiny Dan later because that's part of our upcoming segment. Yay!
So yeah, guess what? There was a new music video that actually is not a music video. I'm sorry.
That's coming later.
Yeah, I Know You featuring Deg Kravis.
Craig David.
No, it's Cave Dragon.
Sounds like a Game of Thrones character. Shut up.
We're sorry, Craig.
Shut up. We're sorry, Craig David. Don't kill us, Craig David.
We're sorry,
you have a good voice, Craig
David.
Shut up.
He's gonna come kill you at night, you know that?
Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
Fun fact, I'm on a radio show at my college and I made them play I Know You today.
Oh,
Good. Get them
fun.
radio play.
Like, at first, I think the funniest thing is that I was kind of not into this song at first, and then Dan came on, and I was immediately like, well, this song's my ass now. Like, do you guys have any thoughts? Like, personally, it's not something I feel like I would listen to on a daily basis, but it's like a nice song. Like, I can imagine it being played like a lot more than most of Bass's stuff because we know how that turned out. But yeah, I feel like I hope it's kind of a way that will get Bastille kind of more recognized. And I know they already have been with Pompe especially, but like in a way to get them even more mainstream because like a lot of people see them as one-hit wonders, which is really not the case.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, like I found like Bastille like last year and I was like amazed that they weren't like nominated for like jack shit like last year. Because like their music is like really good.
All right, guys. So I'm kind of curious what you think about this question, actually, that I've heard some discussion about. The fact that Dan is credited on the song as Bastille, even though it seems like it's just him on the song.
Well, from what we have seen of the video, Woody is there. Woody's going to be there.
That's all May cares about is Woody.
Thank you, May, for your hot take.
Woody, Kyle, and Will. Will was looking at his phone like the greatest man alive.
Aww.
William Forkwison. I like how his name sometimes sounds like Will, like you can say it like as like
funny.
You know that one guy in the Shrek movies?
Farquaad, yeah.
King
Farquaad.
His name was actually based off
Fuckwad.
Yeah, sound like fuckwad. So
yeah.
I'm like, yes, it's William Fuckwad's son.
Fuckwad's son?
This is my son. This is my fuckwad son, William. Do you think anybody has ever called like they've met William? I don't know why I keep saying William like so.
I say William. I say like their full names. Like I rarely say like Dan.
Kyle Jonathan Simmons.
Kyle Jonathan E. Simmons. The E is silent and also dead.
There's an E?
Yeah, there's an E.
Apparently.
No one knows what it means. I think it's Edward,
I've
maybe?
heard it's Edward, but I don't know.
Ace is saying it's Eves. Ah, the secret. Oh yeah, that was the live stream where he said that was the one where Dan blatantly lied about his own middle name.
Yes, my middle name is... Wait, did he actually lie about his middle name?
Yeah, he did. He said he didn't have a middle name.
Are you serious?
Remember that. Yeah.
Aw, poor Dan. Aw.
I mean, his middle name is Campbell Soup, so who could blame him?
Be nice.
All upon your knees.
Didn't want to release Blame as a single. I don't have to be nice to him.
Calm down. Wow, Xochi. Throwing hands.
I think...
I'm serious. I'm so angry at him for that. He's like, I didn't want to release it. I'm like, well, you're gonna flop anyways.
Alright, so on that note, let's talk about getting noticed.
Yes, the truth thing. I am terrified of Dan someday finding this podcast.
Me too.
You know how much I hate him for not wanting to release Blame.
Alright, so yeah, notices. It's a game, honestly. I'm never sure what to feel about trying to get notices.
I cannot believe I got 2 notices on a weekend.
That's amazing.
They were so iconic.
I can't explain
you
them.
Lesbian?
Your parents named you lesbian? Okay, so basically
I've had
this long running joke, with my friend that I'm a lesbian, and I like Woody, so I keep calling him an honorary lesbian. And I tweeted that out to him, and I was like, "Hey, lesbian here. I just wanted to say you're an honorary lesbian. When will you be able to accept your crown?" And all he replied was, because I said lesbian here, he was like, "Your parents named you lesbian? Your parents? Your parents? Your
Parents?
Your real life parents that gave birth to you on this planet known as Earth? They named you lesbian?"
Iconic.
And there was also then Dan noticed me, which was actually terrifying because
That was the funniest thing I've ever seen, honestly. I just saw it being played out. I was like, this is what I signed up for Twitter for.
This is
okay.
While the internet is still free, this is the free goodness that we get out of it.
The Dan notices.
So let me explain this, how it happened for me. So basically, I tweet Dan out. It was right after we finished recording the episode, or when I tried sending it to the podcast to him, but Ace was like, "No, don't do that. That's terrifying." So I didn't. And then I decided, well, I'm not going to just leave myself without being desperate like everybody else and not trying to get a Dan notice. So I'll just tell him, I'll just send him a picture of Tiny Dan. That's all I know how to do. By the way, new listeners, if you don't know what Tiny Dan is, it's kind of self-explanatory, but it's basically an image I made one day.
We were talking earlier about something called Short Drake. And that kind of, I don't know if that will make it into the final cut, but Short Drake is a weirdly photoshopped image of Drake that makes him short.
Yeah, and he's just standing there.
And Tiny Dan is a short Dan.
Short Dan, Grammys 2012, I think, where Dan had that weird hedgehog hair.
Yeah. And he looks like a little weird gnome. And he's good.
Exactly.
We're really proud of him because Dan has seen him.
Also, shout out to my friend Tori, because she was like, "You gotta make an edit of this where it's like, don't talk to me or my bandmate or don't talk to my bandmate or me or my son or my bandmate or my bandmate ever again." And that's what I tweeted at him, and I was like, so he was asking like, "How are you lot?" And I was like, Ace, I'm sorry. Ace, I'm sorry. And so I'm like,
you're dying.
So I tweet that out. So I respond. I'm like, "Good. How are you and your son doing?" With this image of him and the exact same photo of him, except he's really short, like basically no legs. And everybody's trying to get noticed. And it's like there were probably 500 replies by then. And I look, and it was like I have notifications on for Dan's, and he tweeted out,
really?
"We're doing brilliantly, thanks." And so I was like, "Oh, somebody must have asked him how he was, or how the band was." And so I like put down my phone, and then I look on my computer, and I see the Tiny Dan, and then I look and I see Bastille with a verified check mark on it, and I see that, and I actually like started like kind of losing it for like 5 minutes.
It's understandable.
Like I had this really weird laugh. I was like, what? Like I was panicking kind of, because it wasn't even something good. Like there were so many people trying to get their art noticed, and he saw freaking Tiny Dan.
The memes.
And he responded like, "We're doing brilliantly, thanks." He didn't actually spell it out, but that's kind of how I heard it. Like just like, "Oh, we're doing brilliantly, thanks."
I think he got a chuckle out of it, because like that's so iconic to like make.
Yeah, you deserve that. That was an iconic moment in history, I think.
So I saw that, and like everybody's freaking out, and I'm like, how did this happen? Like, and he only responded to like 2 people, if I recall. It was me and I think it was somebody named Susan.
Oh, that's Susan. Yeah, I love Susan. Susan's cool. They're cool.
We're all in school.
Everyone's cool.
Real. And so it's just Dan Smith. Why? And I know at that time, I think he was at a Thanksgiving party or something like that, which is weird because he's British. And so I'm just imagining he tweeted that out while his friends were there, and his friends saw that. Saw
Tiny Dan.
Saw tiny Dan. Dan, but small.
I can see it in my mind. Like he looks at it and he's like, and then he shows it to his friends.
I think he should hate the fandom at this point, specifically because of me.
No,
One day he's going to see the Bastille YouTube poops I've made. By the way, I'm going to plug those. They're called Galampe and Dan Smith and Turtley Combust Real.
I rewatched those like I think 2 days ago, like during school. I was like, I'm in the mood for May, like Galampe thingy.
Throwback to during the Blame 3 Wishes campaign when I was looking through the like update thing and I almost blasted the obnoxious fake it noises to the entire class. But I caught it in time, so I didn't. That could have been disastrous.
My Bastille notice was, I think, really woke.
Really woke Bay. Really woke Bay.
He tweeted about Get Out. Like, this was back in May. He tweeted about Get Out. And I was like, and he was like, yeah, and he was like
really calm during that entire discussion, which I know you probably weren't like externally, but like it was like you two were talking like good old friends for like
he sent
50
me like
years.
he sent me like 4 tweets, and like the last tweet was like him correcting his like mistakes and like, you know, his like autocorrect stuff. And I was like, wow, like he really took the time to do that for me. And it's because I called him
really
out.
Proud.
Yeah,
he was like, I really wanted to. I'm glad like it didn't turn out like that. I'm like, yeah, because you know, Black people are always played on screen and off screen, you know, with being in jail and stuff. And he's like, you know, and then Bastille was like, I agree, I guess. And he specifically said, like you said, and I'm like, yeah, because I'm always right, Daniel.
Yeah, Dan.
But really, though, that just goes to show how it actually does.
Was a single because I told you to. Xochi went into a dream and
did like the red room.
Yeah, no, Dan, like basically Xochi, what's it called? Xochi, what's it called when you try to like Xochi just
Inception?
No, hold on. I gotta figure this out now, or else I'm going to kill myself. Like when I discover it 20 minutes later.
What? What are you trying to describe?
It's like when you go to another place. Like I'm trying. Like it was a meme on Tumblr for a while. Like
disassociated.
Astral project.
It was a meme on Tumblr.
Astral projection was I know exactly what you mean, but yeah, Xochi did that.
Yeah, Xochi astral projected to Dan Bastille's dreams.
Ace just sent a terrible picture, but it's really funny.
I'm afraid to check.
Bastille Dan, the original Milky Bar kid. The original Milky Bar.
We're getting live updates of strange British cultural phenomenons.
Why does James looks like he's crying? Okay, Corey, go, you.
So my notice happened while I was asleep, apparently, because I posted it at like midnight, the picture. And it was right after World Gone Mad had gotten 1 million views, which is a big deal. And Dan had made a reply to somebody else that when it hit 1 million views, he would learn to play the guitar. And we don't know if he was serious or not. I kind of doubt it. But anyway, I made this post because I don't know if any of you guys have been to New York, but there are these completely like ubiquitous everywhere signs that say Dan Smith will teach you guitar.
Talked about it in an interview before about the guitar player.
Yeah, it's just this, like, there are these flyers that are taped to poles all over the place, and they say Dan Smith will teach you guitar. And he's just some dude who
He
does guitar
will.
lessons and like puts flyers up all over New York City. And I remember like 3 or 4 years ago when I went to New York, I saw them and thought they were funny. And so I posted this thing and added Dan in it, and I said, when at Bastille Dan looks and sees that World Gone Mad got 1 million views, and it was the Dan Smith will teach you guitar flyer, and apparently he liked it, and he liked the tweet
He
being
liked
Dan
it.
Smith. And so my terrible meme and my terrible parody account have been seen by the eyes of
Do
Dan
you
Smith,
think?
apparently.
Do you think he considers your account canon now in the
I
WWE
really hope.
lore?
Simon Hepworth noticed me like 20 times though. He noticed, like, he replies to everybody because he's a weird, lonely man.
He's a
mood?
weird, lonely man. Oh my god.
Simon.
I'm sorry, Simon Hepworth. We didn't mean to drag you like that. We totally did, though, because the Fake It Man is terrifying. Oh, I mean, like, Ace has gotten a bazillion notices. Ace has met Dan like 5 times.
Real Ace.
Dan wrote on Ace's pride flag upside down.
Kyle also wrote on it, as did most of TCAC, I think. I don't know how many members.
TCAC.
I'm saying that ironically.
My favorite band to kill a cack. To cack a king.
Die.
Dear, okay.
I hate you. You're so mean.
All of To Kill a King, Childcare Rational and Charlie have signed Ace's flag, which is very neat and cool. And fun fact, so Ace was at a Bastille performance. Wait, no, he was at Childcare, and you want to know what happened? Dan
what
was
happened?
an idiot. He tried to he was going to buy him at the door, but they sold out. So he had to be sneaked in by his friends into a gig. By the way, this man is worth like $6 million, if I remember correctly. He snuck into like a childcare performance with his friends.
A sneaky man. This is why we don't trust you, Dan.
Okay, Ace is going to have to correct me on this in the chat. It was like Kyle was there too, and so Kyle, when he saw Dan, like, tried to get his attention by doing these these grabby hands.
That's iconic. That's just so iconic. And I'm just gonna say
Which
that here
I can
now.
imagine. I can kind of see it, honestly. Like, even like
Kyle does have funny
Kyle
looking
is
hands.
like 6'3". Also, please don't make fun of how I say free. I never learned how to pronounce TH sounds. But like, he's 6'3". Like, if I saw him at a concert, I feel like everybody else around him would be like, I don't know, 5'8". I don't know how tall men are. Men aren't real. But basically, like, he's like just a gigantic man. So, like, I would see him and I'd be like, who let this giant into the building? I'm scared.
They're all really tall. I've never met them like Ace has, but I feel like they are very tall, and I'd be intimidated by their height.
I call Woody small, even though he's taller than me. Technically, I'm 5'6", which is
taller than me.
Which is like 5'10" in lesbian height. So.
I'm not even gonna try to decode what that means. Right?
So Kyle had his arms in the air and did grabby hands, trying to pull Dan towards him, but Dan was just talking to people like a fool.
Dan is a fool. I feel like that's the overall consensus from today's episode, is that Dan's a fool.
Dan, please don't watch this.
We mean that in the most loving way possible.
Yeah,
you're a fool, but we love you. All of Bastille, we love you guys, even though you're fools.
Yeah, I love you, but what do you
Oh, hey,
specifically?
here's something new to talk about. New merch
Oh yeah.
and the mysterious new triangle. What is your guys' opinion on
It's
that?
ugly, and I will fight everyone I see on the street wearing it.
Xochi, why
Not
are you so
hesitate to run your-
You're so negative.
You're so
It hurts my eyes.
Xochi.
Like, it really does hurt my eyes. I hate looking at it.
I think it's average. I feel like it'll look cooler, like in like if it was like white still, or even like I feel like somebody did a 3D edit of it, like where it's the like red and blue lines, like you know how some.
Well, I think some of them are. Some of the merch items are.
Oh, is probably. And I think it looks cool. I'm going to wait to see if it actually is LP3 or if it's just a merch thing, which would make no sense if it was. But like, I want to see how it plays out. Like, I do feel like it definitely fits what we know about the album so far, which is very little about it being like an apocalyptic party album. I feel like that'll, like, you know, like generally pink. Like, there's pink. There's pink.
It's definitely pink.
Full out pink, girl. Girls and boys and friends beyond the binary. We're just going straight up. Bastille isn't emo anymore. We did it, Reddit. Crap.
Ace brings up a good point that the triangle could also be a logo for Other People's Heartache Part 4, which I think makes more sense. That honestly looks like an OPH Part 4 icon to me.
I can
and in general, in terms of my opinion of it, I'm really not fully sure what I think. I think it's cool. I feel like I'm not gonna make judgments about it now because if I had made judgments this early about the WW Comms logo, I would have been like hated it. Because at first I was honestly kind of neutral about that logo, which is surprising because you guys all know that I am like the world's biggest stan of
Comms stan.
Yes. But I mean, I think the good thing to remember is that it's not like a full replacement for the old triangle. It may not even be like a new album symbol or anything like that. And and considering the fact that I kind of doubt that the next album's going to have any sort of concept type stuff with it, since I'm not really sure how that went this time. I don't know. Guys, I'm a little worried. Do you think they're going to sell a fidget spinner?
Oh gosh,
Got a pop socket on there.
They totally should.
Because they already have a pop socket. And I feel
Well,
I have a feeling that a fidget spinner may be coming.
No, I mean, hold on. I know there are. I'm going to tweet this at Dan. There's a Bad Blood and a hanging fidget spinner.
Yeah,
on,
bootleg ones. Yeah,
on Amazon. They're bootleg. And I feel like Dan probably doesn't know about them. So like, but the hanging one, in my opinion, actually, if I remember, it looks really cool.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing pictures.
I think the Bad Blood one looked ugly because it was really off center. But hanging Bastille fidget spinner.
Is there a blame on there?
Spinger?
I can't find it, so it's probably gone forever. You know what I actually am mad at Dan about? The freaking stupid. I know it's not. He doesn't personally run this merch store, so this is a stupid thing to comment about. But the Bastille pins went out like of stock before I could get some, and I really wanted it for my for my Christmas list. But no, they weren't there. So now I'm just stuck here in the mud.
By the way, there's a mystery. Ace wants us to mention this. There was some sort of weird tester item. Ace bought it. Ace does not know what they're getting. No one knows what it is.
Wasn't it like 25 euros? Like 25.25 euros, like not even a full euro. It was tester item 3, which means there were 2 of these before this.
It's like an SCP or something. Like, whoa, yo,
like,
we're gonna get like
I really hope so. Like
a ghost in a box.
Something. Like, I know logistically they won't, but I want them to.
Mood.
Like, it's going to be like an invite to, like, I don't know, Dan's wedding when he gives birth. Wait, I don't know where that was going. I was thinking of like two different things at once.
Dan's wedding when he gives birth. Alright, I think that's your controversial statement of the episode, May.
Okay, we did it.
Thank you guys for putting up with our wild adventures on this podcast.
Well, shoot, you've beat me. Like, Wild World. Now do I have to make
World?
Wild
This
World!
podcast
Wild
is
World!
bad blood. It's very bad. It's very
It's just
bloody.
bad.
I've killed Dan Smith already.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Sorry.
When I say that, I sound like a Minecraft YouTuber, except for Bastille.
To my Bastille Let's Play, we're on. This is part 30.
Episode 47.
Where we
I'm going to show you how to get Dan to release grip. First, you have to make a diamond sword, and you have to kill him.
May delete your vlog.